Queen City in Buffalo in the First Niagara Center, and the officers of the Oblong Onion Bags tonight, Jonathan Bernier, 0-2-0 against the Sabres lifetime. Ryan Miller has owned the Maple Leafs, 29-15-1, and that's the most wins he's had against any team in the National Hockey League.
Well, no shortage of stories here tonight.
Oh boy, yeah.
A new coach, some history between these two teams, and a whole bunch of energy in this building to start off the game here this evening.
And we're glad you're along with us here on Sportsnet Ontario as Clarkson rolls it down into the Buffalo zone. Down the wall comes Raymond to try and play it in. It comes in front of the net, and the Sabres will push it out on the right wing for Drew Stafford. Stafford gets it down into the Toronto zone with a shot, and that was stopped by Bernier. Puck is back of the net for Cody Hodgson, who centers, and it's knocked up on the wing, and Clarkson trying to move it out. It'll get to center ice past Henrik Tallinder, and it's on to the near side. Wrapped to the blue line, but not out. Puck along the boards. It comes into the center ice area. Tonight's starting lineups brought to you by Intact Insurance. Your home, your auto, your business. Ask your broker about Intact Insurance Company. Dion Phaneuf. A lead pass deflected in by Van Riemsdyk. Kessel goes into the corner after it. Christian Ehrhoff is onto it. Notice they haven't sent out John Scott to cover Kessel, so things are sort of easing into this one. Out into the center ice area it comes. There's Mark Fraser with it, delayed offside. He restores order now, and here's Paul Ranger carrying it out at center. A bank pass, tipped in by Van Riemsdyk. Here's Clarkson going into the corner into his second shift. Puck along the boards, battled in there along with Mason Raymond. Clarkson trying to dig it out of a maze of legs. He has to get it along the boards. Back to the point to Jake Gardiner. Gardiner trying to step around the check. Gardiner coming down the wall, still with the puck. Back to the blue line to Clarkson. Over on the far side, Cody Franson, and his shot deflected wide of the goal. It comes in front. Raymond turning back with it. Raymond looking for a man in front, can't get it to him. And it's cleared off a stick to center ice and down into the Toronto zone. Bernier with a quick up himself, and he finds Mason Raymond. Raymond with a pass that went well wide of the net. It'll come back out into the center ice area. Fraser launching it right back down into Buffalo territory. On the near side, Ristolainen trying to play it up on the left wing side, too far. Ranger has it again. Off Kuhlman, sticking into the zone it goes. Laid back to the net by Jamie McBain. Into the corner now goes Jared Smithson for Toronto. Puck is still in a maze of legs. Smithson able to get it free. Gets it handed back to him. Now sends it into the corner, and Jay McClement turns. McClement wheels away from one check. Still has it along the boards. Looking for an outlet, cycles it back into the corner. Down in there goes Kuhlman. Kuhlman looking for Smithson in front. Has it back into the corner. Good puck possession here for the Maple Leafs, and the Sabres fail to get it out, and then upended and a penalty coming to Toronto. It's going to be, I believe, Paul Ranger for upending the Sabre right at the blue line, and so the first penalty of the game will go to the Maple Leafs.
Yeah, Carlisle doesn't like it much, but some great pressure by the Maple Leafs to start off this period, and then a trip there as Marcus Foligno goes down, and this is exactly what teams have been doing to the Buffalo Sabres all season long, playing behind the red line and just waiting for them to break down, and they've done a lot of it as they've been outscored 27-3 in first periods so far this year.
So the Sabres will go to the power play. They are 19th in the NHL, or excuse me, 22nd in the NHL, 8 of 59. The Maple Leafs had a marvelous penalty-killing effort in Minnesota, where they killed off 5 straight, including the 5-minute major penalty assessed to Nazem Kadri, who, of course, has subsequently been suspended, not for that hit, but for bowling over the goaltender in Backstrom. Now here's Hodgson with a shot, and that went off his leg and went wide of the goal. Puck is around back of the net. Ennis gets it back to the blue line. It'll come over here to Jamie McBain. His shot is on goal, stopped in front. Kuhlman trying to clear, but doesn't get it out. Kuhlman had a great chance to clear it, but didn't. Deflection right on. What a save that was by Bernier, who stood right in there on the shot from Christian Ehrhoff. And finally, the Leafs are able to get it out into the center ice area. You mentioned that the Sabres have scored just 3 first-period goals this year. They've also only opened the scoring in 2 of the 20 games they've played thus far this season. Onto the left wing side, dropping it back, it's Myers. Over on the near side, working in with a pass that goes off a skate, goes wide of the net. Myers with it again. Myers on the near side now for Pysyk. Pysyk with a shot that is off the leg wide. And it's rattled around the boards and out and down the ice by the Maple Leafs' Cody Franson. Penalty, has half minute to go in it. Stafford drops it back onto the left wing side. Carter Ashton ties up his man. Cleared into the corner. Phaneuf allowing Carl Gunnarsson to the puck. Raymond staying out in front of the net with both defensemen down in the corners. It comes back to the blue line to Myers. Myers with a weak wrist shot, but deflected right on. And Bernier is able to take that and smother it.
Bernier is so good at moving into pucks. That last save was an example, and here's an example here where the puck goes towards the net. Let him move into the puck, drags his right leg and makes an excellent toe save. Kuhlman doesn't get it out. That creates another chance to score, and again, he just moves quietly into the puck, covers the bottom half of the net, and his rebound control, as we've noticed all season long, excellent.
He has stopped 372 of 396 shots coming into this game, with a .939 save percentage. And the Leafs carry it off the boards, and out and down the ice it goes. That has done it. Ranger has scampered to the bench. The Leafs have killed off the first penalty of the game. Sabres send it in, and this is not going to be icing as Bernier came out of the goal. It's played up on the near wing, and Fraser McLaren gets it out into the center ice area. McLaren trying to barge his way in, and Jay McClement has. McClement with a wrist shot that went wide. Cody Franson will slip it around back of the net. There's McClement with it again. McClement working the near boards this time. Banks it back to the point. Jake Gardiner winds, fakes, now winds again. Then when he did let it go, it was blocked in front by Corey Trott. McLaren takes down Scott. Fraser McLaren with it again. Leaving it there now for McClement. Scott tries to get a piece of him but can't. And it's up on the near side, and Jake Gardiner trying to pinch as it come by him to center ice. So the first shift of the heavyweights, and there is no extracurricular activity a lot of people were anticipating after the preseason fiasco.
I can tell you that Nolan told Scott, look, I don't need you to be a fighter all the time. Just go out and play a hard game. You don't have to fight. And that's a philosophy that you may not think comes from a guy like Nolan, who used to be one tough customer as a player. But he has told his players, just be a physical player. You don't have to be a guy that goes out and looks for a fight every shift. So we may not see it tonight. Who knows?
Well, the Sabres lead the National Hockey League in fighting majors with 17, but it's not John Scott that leads that parade. It's Cody McCormick, who has more fights than anybody in the NHL this year with 6. Around back of the net it goes for Ehrhoff. Into the near corner. Ristolainen tried to get it out, and then Hodgson did, but he's gotten a hold of it a little too much. This is going to sail all the way down into the Toronto zone for an icing call.
And I like the start that the Leafs had, other than the one penalty that got them in a little bit of trouble in terms of chances to score against them. But they've been on the body, they've been on the forecheck, and it's been effective so far in Buffalo zone, although very few chances to show for it against Ryan Miller here early.
Ristolainen got it up ahead, and Hodgson couldn't move up ice, and so Ehrhoff regroups, and it's fed ahead on the left wing side and sent by Matt Moulson, the North York native, into the Toronto zone. Kuhlman got it up on the wing, but too much traffic there. Kuhlman is able to push it out, and Jay McClement races after it with Pysyk and gets to it and pushes it deeper into the zone. Now around back of the net it goes. He's trying to regroup back to the blue line to Mark Fraser. Fraser got it into the slot area. Here's McClement down low. Van Riemsdyk, a centering pass, and a backhand by Kuhlman went wide. Best scoring chance the Leafs have had. Hodgson sends it in. Moulson goes after it. Well, you see number 26 out there, and it's hard not to say Thomas Vanek. Of course, Moulson and Vanek exchanged There's a shot high over top and into the screen it goes, in behind Ryan Miller. From First Niagara Centre in Buffalo, you're watching Molson Canadian Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet.
He always has these funny little circumstances that can happen. Two teammates playing on the same ice night. Trevor Smith was at the University of New Hampshire from the 05 to 07 season, and then James Van Riemsdyk followed him from the 07 to the 09 season, and here they are, lo and behold, on the same ice surface playing together here tonight in Buffalo.
Smith taking the draw. Played in over the line, and now Myers banks it ahead and to the blue line. Fed back out and shot in on a delay, and the Sabres evacuate, and the Leafs get a little skating room to bring it out. Mark Fraser with a bank pass to Clarkson, who sends it deep into Buffalo territory. A giveaway there, and Smith couldn't get it out in front of the net quickly. Now along the boards is David Clarkson. Back along the wall it comes to Mason Raymond. Raymond with a pass in, and Smith failed to redirect. Ranger rattles it around back of the net. Raymond with it again, back for Clarkson, too well covered by Big Myers. Into the corner goes Smith to send it back. Clarkson and Myers renew hostilities. Down goes Clarkson, no penalty call. Out come the Sabres at center. In across the line against Paul Ranger, who takes his man down. No penalty there, and there could have been one as well. Ennis back to the net. Puck comes around back of the goal, and it's banked back to the blue line. But a change of defense. And reached the line and couldn't get there in time to keep it in. Ennis, and on the right side with a shot, steered wide. That bounds off a body and into the corner. Girgensson now trying to center, but it's on to Mark Fraser's stick. Ahead for Joffrey Lupul. Lupul to Gardner. Gardner circles the net. He's got Lupul available, but decides to carry it himself. Now the pass ahead is deflected by Van Riemsdyk down into the zone. Off the boards for Ennis, and up at center it comes. Girgensson's pass on the wing for Foligno didn't work. Leafs try to bring it back in with Franson. Franson is checked. The puck goes over the glass and out of play, and there'll be a face-off deep in Buffalo territory. Tonight's keys to the game are brought to you by Tim Hortons, official coffee of the NHL.
Sorry, Joe, we get into all kinds of technical things tonight, but it's managed the emotions early here against Buffalo with a new coach. We haven't really seen it so far. Buffalo trying harder, but they've been hemmed in a lot in their own zone. And for the Sabres, this is something that Ted Nolan will be preaching constantly for the next little while. Increase their work ethic. And he is a motivational type of coach who asks his players very simply to just play as hard as you possibly can every shift, every night.
Back to the blue line to Phaneuf. Dion Phaneuf walks the line, then sends the shot in wide of the net, and Miller will pounce on it at the side of the goal and will hold on.
Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet. Brought to you by Molson Canadian, diehard fan and proud partner of the Leafs.
There's Matt Moulson. 7 games here in Buffalo, 2 goals, 6 assists for 8 points. That's offside, and it is sent in on a delay, and as it was touched, it'll be brought back into the center ice area, and the North York native Matt Moulson trying to fit in with a new team.
And they say he just may be a rental. He could go again at the trade deadline as part of this rebuild. But saying that, there's a bit of history with Moulson. And the general manager, somewhat. And Moulson's played very, very well for this team so far here in Buffalo. They got to keep some veterans around. And that brings the next question up. Ryan Miller, does his status change, or does Ryan Miller want it to change? He kind of has he drives the bus as he's an unrestricted free agent.
Long lead pass goes too far, and Bernier is going to cover up on it. Moulson acquired along with a first round and second round pick. The first rounder is in 14, and the second round is in 2015 for Thomas Vanek.
Good trade. Good trade for Darcy Regier. And doesn't get a lot of credit for it. But
not anymore.
And now he gets no credit for it. Exactly.
I think he'll surface somewhere. And Ted Nolan sends Moulson and company back out. Face off to the left of Bernier. No score here in the first period. 10:20 to go in the first frame. And the draw is scrummed and won by the Sabres. Myers fakes the shot, comes down to the half boards, now sends it in front, and it was deflected away, and Orr gets it up on the wing, and it's cleared to the blue line. And a glove pass is going to be whistled down and allow a face-off to come outside the line.
This period brought to you by the redesigned 2014 Toyota Tundra. Tough enough for any project.
Smart play by Ted Nolan. Leafs fourth line is out there. He immediately gets his number one line out, and it creates a pretty good chance to score.
Yeah, his young sons, Brandon and Jordan, that he went to coach. I laughed after his tenure here and winning Coach of the Year in the National Hockey League. When he went to coach his sons, he had to go take a course on coaching in order to get his certification in order to coach in Ontario.
They have since grandfathered that a little bit, thankfully.
Do you know who else had to do that? Cito Gaston, when he wanted to try and coach kids baseball. All he'd done is win 2 World Series.
Sportsnet U has the UTech Bowl from Halifax tomorrow. Laval and Mount Allison beginning at 12:30 Eastern on Sportsnet 360. And following that, the Mitchell Bowl from Calgary as Western takes on Calgary. Again, that game set for 4 p.m. tomorrow Eastern time.
Well, he's got his hands full, Pat LaFontaine. I like the fact he just got recognized here during our commercial break. I do like the fact that he said, look, I'm not ready to be a GM. I've been out of the game, but I can certainly put a good team together in terms of a management team. And for him to recognize that and not jump in the chair, I thought was very intelligent, because a lot of guys would have.
Who do you think the candidates might be as far as the GM is concerned?
You got Rick Dudley, of course. Lots of talk about him, a great hockey man. Botterill in Pittsburgh, who's been an assistant manager. A name that hasn't been talked about at all, Paul Fenton of the Nashville Predators. Paul Fenton's been sitting in Nashville for a number of years and done an excellent job there and done all kinds of work for that team. And yes, they've had a lot of success considering the circumstances.
Laid out into the center ice area. Gunnarsson couldn't get to it. Didn't matter. Went over his stick apparently. Another icing charge against the Buffalo Sabres, which will be brought back into the Sabres zone to the right of Miller.
Some unfinished business with Ted Nolan, Coach of the Year, and then he ended up leaving. And as you can see, had some decent success here.
And he had the big argument with Dominic Hasek and Hasek's play in the playoffs, and then Regeer offered him a 1-year deal, and that didn't sit well after winning Coach of the Year. We get another icing here. And so he left with some bitter taste, I think, as far as the organization is concerned, but he's certainly been welcome back with open arms here in the last couple of days.
Yeah, Joe, and I had a nice talk with him this morning, and he's just absolutely thrilled to be here. We all change in life as we get older. We mellow a little bit, and he's learned an awful lot in the last number of years as a person and as a coach in terms of how he's going to approach this team. And I kind of got excited actually talking to him. He's so enthusiastic about what he wants to do for his players in terms of building confidence underneath.
There's Kessel in over the line. Lays it into the corner. Van Riemsdyk to Lupul in front, and it went off a skate just wide. Lupul trying to find it, could not. And it's out onto the right wing side for Drew Stafford. Left wing play for Talinder and sent down into the Toronto zone. I laughed because he's going to be a grandfather 2 times over, Millsy, and I said, how are you keeping that hair that dark? He said, bear grease. So I'm going to go and buy some of that this week.
You're gonna need a lot, Joe.
Yeah, I might need a barrel of it. Laid ahead at center. Launched in on the backhand. Clarkson goes roaring in there after it. Tries to come around back of the net. Clarkson cycles it along for Raymond. Raymond turns back. Clarkson's in front of the goal as it comes off his stick. And it'll be brought out into the center ice area by Tyler Ennis. Up onto the wing and shot in by Ott. Down the boards goes Jamie McBain into the forecheck. Ennis trying to come out with it. Ennis does. Backhand pass in front. Backhanded thing. No! Off the post. That went over Bernier and off the crossbar. Now here's Mason Raymond in over the line with a shot. And that went high and wide and comes out at center ice. They will look at this again. And our guys in the truck have already done so. And off the crossbar and out.
I think it rolled off Bernier and then went up high right off the crossbar in the second attempt.
So Mike Murphy and company in Toronto, no sense even looking at it. The boys in our truck have seen it. Miller lays it around on the boards. Up on the left wing side, swatted back in by Toronto. Here's Kessel down the wall. Kessel looking in front, tried to get it there, but it was off a stick and into the far corner. Marcus Foligno leaves it there, and the pass comes ahead off the stick of Brian Flynn. Quickly back the other way for Van Riemsdyk. Van Riemsdyk getting it in over the line, and the Sabres will turn with it. Christian Ehrhoff, no score, first period. Into the center ice area. Flynn now snaps it deep into the Toronto zone. Bernier will play it off into the corner, and Mark Fraser turns as both teams have completed their change. Fraser trying to get to the red line, backhands it back into Buffalo territory. 6-2 are the shots. That's nothing strange. The Leafs being outshot again. 4 of those shots came on the Buffalo power play. Myers overskates the puck. Back to the net. Carter Ashton can't get it in front. And it comes up on the right wing side, and a hit there. And a good one by Colt Moore. And a hit along the boards by Trop as McLaren stood up. Orr in against Scott in the corner. And out at center ice come the Sabres, only to turn it over at the Toronto blue line. McCormick into the forecheck as it's played in, and Scott took a healthy run there at Jake Gardiner. Now they crisscross Orr and Scott as they head to the benches. No words exchanged. And out come the Sabres at center with McCormick playing it down into the Toronto zone. Around on the near side. Raymond can't get it out. Hodgson keeps it in with a shot, and that's deflected wide of the Toronto net. Phaneuf trying to pull away from some forechecking, will play it off the boards to center. Ehrhoff to an open wing, gathered there and brought on by Molson. Molson stood up on a hit by Gunnarsson as Phaneuf plays it around on the wall, and David Clarkson trying to get it out. That bounces free, and Phaneuf leads 4 Leafs to center. Onto the right wing side for Clarkson. Drop for Phaneuf. Phaneuf with a pass in! Down is Miller with Clarkson on top of him, and he'll hold on. No score first period from the First Niagara Center.
Another terrific period so far for Jonathan Bernier. He's had a couple of tough redirects that he's been very sharp on here early on the power play. And here's another redirect where he battles by the rebound. Doesn't get enough of it, but gets a bit of a break as it hits the crossbar. But he was there working on a second effort, and there's Colt Moore doing what he does best with pretty good body check.
Second time Bernier has played here at the First Niagara Center. With Los Angeles, he was a 4-2 loser back in November of 2010, giving up 4 goals that night. Now here the Leafs back into the offensive attack, and the pass there for Van Riemsdyk didn't work. Van Riemsdyk got it freed up, but the Sabres have slid it out and down the ice. Icing waved off. Bernier looking for a pass, and he gets it ahead at center, only it bounced over Van Riemsdyk's stick. Nice move to bring it back in now with a chance to lead her in on goal. Around back of the goal and unable to center. Bernier was out and sprawled on the far side.
You're lucky there.
Kessel across the line. On it goes for Mark Fraser. Fraser turns into the corner. Plays it around for Lupul in the near corner. Into the slot. It comes in a shot. Deflects over top and into the screen. And a face-off will come in Buffalo territory.
If you drive on snow and ice, you don't want all-season tires. You want all-weather tires. Get Nokian's most advanced all-weather tire, the WRG3 at Cal Tire.
Here's Bernier here, and if Lino goes down there, that might be a penalty, but he doesn't, and a pretty smart play and a veteran play by the goalie as that prevented the wraparound.
Chipped ahead by Gardiner. Fed around back of the net by Smithson, or he tried to get it back there. Now it comes in front. Here's McCormick with a shot, and knocked down in front of the goal was Kuhlman. Sabres are back organizing in their own end, dropping it back for Jamie McBain. McBain on the wing it goes. Ristolainen plays it down into the Toronto zone, and Mason Raymond will fire it right back in again. He takes a hit over on the far side from Foligno. Puck comes free into the slot, and a shot deflects right on. Miller stopped that. Gardiner is unable to keep it in. Jake Gardiner has it found over his stick. He has to scamper back. And the Sabres will get a line change going. Here's Gardiner launching it in off the glass and into the corner. Carter Ashton gets there first. Ashton trying to free it up. He's got Fraser McLaren with him as it comes in front. A shot by Clarkson was stopped. Clarkson taking a bit of a slash at one of the Sabres sticks. McLaren unable to get to it. Scott has it up against the boards and pushes it around back of the net. Near side. Drop. Unable to get past Mark Fraser. The puck goes high in the air and comes down outside the blue line. A lead pass for Trop. Trying to work in and a shot at the goal post. The light goes on, but I don't think that's in the net either. Bernier covers up on it. The goal judge put the light on, but I don't believe that went in the net. That came right off the post.
This period brought to you by the redesigned 2014 Toyota Tundra. Tough enough for any project.
Well, the light went on. The question is, where is he sitting? He may be up here in the press box with us somewhere, the goal judge. And we'll have a look at this right off the post, no doubt about it. Bernier gets a little lucky. He doesn't hit him in the derriere and go back right into the net. It does, but then it stays there, and Bernier does a real nice job of making sure that puck doesn't go back into the net. Now we got some chirping with Scott going on here.
Colton Orr.
And Colton Orr, as the boys are getting a little bit heated.
Pardon me while we throw another radish into the stew and stir it a little.
Yeah, the Sabres have only scored the opening goal in the first period twice this season, so perhaps a itchy trigger finger here on behalf of the goal judge.
Well, they no longer sit behind the net. In most rinks, those seats have become prime viewing areas, so they're off to a side and sometimes can't see. Kuhlman getting it in for Jay McClement.
McClement sitting on top of the clock.
A long walk. Back to the blue line, Phaneuf. Phaneuf can't get it through. Then he does, and it's deflected just wide. Kuhlman into the corner. Leafs have done a good job of offensive zone time of cycling the puck against this Buffalo defense. Talinder. It's it past Molson to center and a quick pass for Gunnarsson. He'll return the favor and the Leafs are changing. Phaneuf to Gunnarsson again. Skating room to his liking. Got it ahead for Jay McClement. Gunnarsson carries on. Dishes for McClement. McClement works back towards the blue line, then cycles it in for Kessel. Kessel tried to make a move, but had it stripped away from him. And it is played by Stafford out at center ice. Molson will flip in and head to the bench. 2:08 to go in the period. No score. Gardiner with a head of speed coming out of his own zone. Played it in over the line. Cut off by Mark Pysyk. And the Sabres play it out into the center ice area. Cody Franson gets it back. Lupul ahead for Van Riemsdyk. That didn't work. And it is Gardiner back in his own zone. These two teams will collide tomorrow night in the second of a home-and-home series as it's down into the Buffalo zone. Leafs are back here at the end of the month. We get to spend American Thanksgiving when everything is closed in Buffalo. On a Thursday.
You've done that before.
Yeah, well, a lot of nights. On the boards now for Lupo. They've got a marvelous bit of work going on here just outside this facility with new rinks and a hotel. Centering pass, dropped out of the air and high. It goes into the screen and out of play with 1:09 to play in the period.
Get an oil change by December 15th and get a free gift. Michelin Hybrid Wiper Blades. Get your coupon at MrLube.com.
Phil Kessel's going to get a penalty for wrapping the puck out of play. The referees are Greg Kimmerly and Chris Lee. Brian Mock and Pierre Racicot are the linesmen.
And on Pysyk here, he just knocks it out of the air and up it goes over top of the glass. And this is stating the obvious, but with the Leafs with all their injuries through the middle and all their injuries period, the Kessel line, they got to do something offensively here and contribute a little bit more than they had the last couple of games. They got to make something happen offensively for this group in 5-on-5 situations. Power play, they've been fine.
Jay McClement out, penalty killing again. 78 minutes, 36 seconds coming into this game. Played short-handed by McClement, the only forward among 20 players in the top short-handed ice time department. Back to the blue line, McBain. Far side it goes. Trying to work in there was Ehrhoff. It comes back to him at the point. He fakes the shot. Can't get it around Kuhlman. Now he'll try another shot. Deflected right on. Oh, what a save. Another chance in front down Bernier. Did he get his glove on that? I think he did.
The first tip, he did. Unbelievable. And this is just a reaction save, Ed. When you're on the way Bernier's been on of late, you pick pucks up that you often don't pick up if your game isn't on 100%.
Watch this.
And a terrific move there.
Watch
and
this
then the
save.
second one, he gets his glove on, just dragging it. A little bit of luck there, and Innes can't get the puck up over top of him. But the first save on the redirect, the way he picks that puck up, is absolutely remarkable.
28.1 seconds remaining in the period. The draw, one scrummed into the corner. Ranger can't get to it. Back to the blue line from McBain. Over on the far side, Ehrhoff sends it in front. Fraser intercepted that, but then when he tried to clear it, was knocked away, and now they're going to call it a high stick. So the faceoff's going to come outside the blue line. In fact, will be brought all the way down into the Buffalo zone because it was done during a power play. So it's all the way down into the Buffalo zone to the right of Ryan Miller.
You know, when you've got a team down, even though they have a new coach in terms of the season they've had so far, you want to get after them in a hurry and keep them down. And by this period going as long as it has at 0-0, that's giving all kinds of life to a team that's looking for life with a new coach. And the Leafs desperately should have or could have or would have liked to have got on the board here. Try that again, Joe.
I think you covered all the bases.
I did,
there.
with 13.2 seconds to go. Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Yep. Wanted to, did. Face off to the right of Miller. As the official is just checking, I think, on how much time is remaining, whether they stop the clock in time. But timekeeper suggests that they're off by 2/10, so they're going to add 2/10. He's going to have to take his shoes off, figure out how this is all going to work. Well, if he does it, I do.
Leave on, Joe.
Yeah, 2/10. You just never know when 2/10 could be the difference. Now we're ready to go. 14.7. Well, it was more than 2/10. Draw scrummed. It comes free. A lead pass at center. Whoa, and Mark Fraser coming through the middle there. He had a pretty good crosshairs on Steve Ott, and if he'd have made contact, that could have been now a bit of a discussion here by Ott. So a 0-0 tie at the end of the first period here at the First Niagara Center. Let's go to Darren. We are back here at the First Niagara Center, and our first period summary brought to you by Future Shop. For the season's hottest gadgets at the best price guaranteed, head to futureshop.ca. Season's gadgets from Future Shop. And a look at it from the Department of Figures Don't Lie, but Liars Can Figure. The Leafs outchanced at the net. The Sabres 14-10 despite being outshot 10-5. It's the first time this year Sabres have outshot a team in the first period.
And Bernier really again, and this is a recording, the difference in period number one is he was by far the busier goalie. He had some tricky saves with three directs, and what a save that was with his glove. Not twice on Ennis, who had the 3 shots on goal in the first period against Bernier, and he's been the difference. And of course, without Nazem Kadri, things become even a little more complicated for the Maple Leafs, and he had his workout long after practice this morning as the coaches got a hold of him and are making sure he will not get the least bit out of shape.
And there is Trevor Smith, who is replacing Kadri in the lineup. The Leafs had 5 shots, 5 were blocked, and 4 missed the net for a total of 14. Buffalo had 10 shots on goal, 1 block and 1 miss for 12. And somewhere in that whole period, not a single giveaway was recorded by the official scorekeepers here. Everybody's into the analytic aspect of the game, and you got to remember, it's all subjective through different sets of eyes every night. So you really don't get the same kind of approach from building to building. What is a giveaway in one rink is not a giveaway in another. Here the Sabres sending it in. Ennis was upended there as it's rattled around the boards to the line, but not out. Leafs still a man short. He airs. It's down into the corner. Off a skate. Ennis with it. Back along the boards for Hodgson. Markham native gives it back to Ennis. To the point it comes to McBain. He has to settle it. Ehrhoff has it go off his skate. And now here's McClement freeing it up. And unable to center it was Matt Molson. Phaneuf trying to get there ahead of his man. Shields it well enough to get it to the line. And Kuhlman gets it out. Kessel is out of the penalty box. Leafs are 2 for 2 in the penalty kill. And down into the zone. And Jay McClement on for 55 seconds there to kill off that penalty. Ott in the corner, gets it back to the blue line. Myers a shot, and he whipped that about 13.5 feet wide. Round back of the net, far side. Carl Gunnarsson is still out there, as is Phaneuf. The Leafs haven't got their defense changed. And back into the slot, it comes in a dangerous play. And a big save made by Bernier. He's able to bring about a face-off as Ott and Phaneuf have some words, the two captains, on the way through, and they'll head to their respective benches.
Ott, of course, at the end of period number 1 had a little bit of it to do with Fraser, so he's a little feisty at the moment. Another redirect, and again, how Bernier moves into the puck and makes another great save without a rebound.
Steve Ott, native of Summerside, PEI, who played his junior hockey with the Windsor Spitfires. As Kessel gets it to the line, but Lupul couldn't get it out for him. And Van Riemsdyk runs over his man, and the puck along the boards, and Lupul unable to trap it. Near side, Girgensons works in over the line on the right side. Girgensons into the corner, trying to roll it in front, lost his edge and fell. Goes into the corner after it. He bangs in there. 19-year-old from Latvia, so his coach knows all about him. A pass in front of the net. Oh, and rolled off the stick of Brian Flynn. Leafs bring it back, and Franson will slip it in. Out into the center ice area, and turning with it now is Ranger. A lead pass off a skate down into the zone. Miller tucks it back to the net for Myers. Quickly onto it is Mark Fraser, who centers. No one there. And the Sabres launch it high to center ice. Knocked down there by Smith. Sent over on the far wing, but unable to handle the pass was Raymond. And then it is cleared in over the line as Fraser stood his man up. Round back of the goal, a backhand pass comes to center, and it is chopped in by David Clarkson. Down the boards, Mason Raymond. Raymond back of the net. Smith with a pretty good hit on Mark Pysyk. It comes back to the blue line. Here's Dion Phaneuf winding and faking, and tried to send it in, but it was blocked, and it is brought out by Christian Ehrhoff. Ehrhoff to the line. Onto the wing to Cody McCormick, a shot off the glove of Bernier, but taken to safety by Smith. Smith and Scott after it, and it's up on the near wing, and Clarkson plays it high off the boards, but kept in there by Ehrhoff. Ehrhoff launches it into the far corner. John Scott back to the net for Drew Stafford. Stafford is knocked down from behind. Chops at the puck. Clarkson is able to free it up, and Phaneuf finds his defense partner, and Gunnarsson gets it out. Raymond trying to get it in deep to get a change of players going as Scott. Well, that's offside. It should have been. And it's going to be brought back into the Buffalo zone as Scott was coming off the ice inside the blue line.
Some real good backside pressure here by Lupul as the Buffalo Sabres were threatening a little bit. The Leafs don't get out of the zone. Here comes Lupul back into the play, and with a good play with a stick, and that breaks up a potential scoring chance. And Smith as well. Quiet little play. It was going to Scott, and then he loses the battle, but at least knocked it out of harm's way on the initial defensive play.
Cody Hodgson took 14 of the 21 Buffalo faceoffs in the first period, and he just took that one there. Now brought in and slid in by Smithson. Kuhlman gets a hit as the puck comes out into the center ice area, and Cody Franson has to go back after it. No score here in the first Niagara Center, and I don't believe I have ever seen as many Leaf jerseys in this building in all the years of coming to Buffalo. Here's McClement. Slides in off a hit, checked into the corner. Billy Leno against the boards, tied up. Leno playing center ice tonight as Ted Nolan and discussing with players as to where they feel more comfortable, and Leno has been moved from the wing into the center ice slot. As a lead pass goes down into the Buffalo zone. Myers plays it into the slot, but it's picked off, but unable to get it in front of the net, and the Sabres clear. Razor, rink wide, off of Ott's glove. It comes to Kessel. Kessel across the line, too far for Joffrey Lupul. Round on the boards, McBain gets it up on the wing. Ennis unable to reach it in time. Kessel arrives there to try and keep it in, and Lupul now, he's got Gardner in front. Gardner tries to center, and it goes high in the air into the near corner. Everyone lost sight of it. Ennis carries for Buffalo to center. Swept in over the line, knocked down on the play. Kessel turns, and Kessel starts out at center ice. Kessel with speed down the left wing and in. He'll put the brakes on, puts it into the corner. Myers gives it away to Lupul. Lupul with a shot right on, and that's stopped by Miller. Kessel coming out. Kessel trying to drop it back. Boy, when he winds up in the neutral zone and starts going, I may be dating myself a bit, but he reminds you a lot of Frank Mahovlich. Here's Tallinder in over the line, and a shot just wide of the net. And sprawling was Girgensons after the move. Bunted out to the blue line, and offside at the Buffalo blue line will bring a stoppage of play here in Buffalo.
Intact Insurance is proud to sponsor the Toronto Maple Leafs and all the fans who keep believing. Intact Insurance, you're back.
Tyler Myers has been struggling, to say the least, in his game all season long, and those are the kind of plays that have been really hurting him. Just with pressure, he just seems to panic a little bit, and he panicked there and threw it right up in the middle, but the Leafs, again, really no chance to score after a pretty healthy giveaway by Buffalo.
Icing charge here against Buffalo will bring a puck back into the Sabre zone. And it'll be into the circle of the left of Ryan Miller as the Leafs make a player change. And Kessel and company, Lupul and Van Riemsdyk. And Lupul taking a lot of the offensive faceoffs here instead of Van Riemsdyk. And he wins that one. Back along the boards, Kessel into the corner. Van Riemsdyk forcing his way to the front of the net. Down is Lupul, and down is Miller. And he's got a hold of the puck, and there'll be a face-off in the Buffalo zone when we return. 13:56 to go in the second, no score. There's Hall of Famer Rick Jeanneret in his normal spot up next to us here in the Ted Darling Memorial Press Box, but the elevator didn't work, and RJ decided to try it down at ice level on Tuesday against LA. Look at the outfit. And then Jordan Nolan, the new coach's son, almost took out the veteran play-by-play man. Before the game, he was wearing a red Sabres jersey, non-contact. Didn't want to get hit again.
He's a character. I think we've heard his call about LaFontaine a few times around here in the last 24 hours to 48 hours.
Yeah, I'm sure. And
more than once.
He won the Foster Hewitt Award in 2012, and Harry Neal won it this year. So the Sabres have had a run of Foster Hewitt success. Pass up on the left wing side. Here's Mason Raymond in over the line, going to the front of the net. Clarkson comes out of the corner with the puck. Clarkson back into the slot. Smith, the shot, scores! Trevor Smith gets his second goal of the season, and the Maple Leafs have a 1-0 lead.
You know, it's funny, I was thinking out loud when Raymond didn't shoot the puck on the first opportunity. They got to get some shots on goal, and here's the situation. Shoot it. He didn't, but then they gained puck possession, and this time they do shoot it, throw it towards the net, and you never know. As it hits a Sabre player in front of the net, and he just throws it towards the net, redirects, 1-0 Toronto. And good work by the Leafs in the puck recovery to get it back to him, and good support in terms of a defensive position for Smith, and that's why he was able to throw it through.
Well, the kind of season that the Sabres have had as another shot is stopped by Miller. They're 0-1-1 when they've scored the first goal of the game. They're 4-14 when the opponent has scored the first goal. The Leafs are 7-2-1 when they've gotten onto the board first. And they do with Trevor Smith. It may have gone in off Christian Ehrhoff's foot. But it is 1-0 Toronto. And the Leaf fans are serenading Ryan Miller. Here's Cody Franson sending it in around back of the net. McClement lays it in there for Kuhlman. Kuhlman works his way in front. Oh, and the pass, McClement couldn't handle it. Brought out now by Tyler Ennis. Ennis working in over the line. Ennis dropping it off, and it's poked away. And here's Van Riemsdyk sliding past a hit from Ott. Ennis will try it again. Fakes the shot. Steps in on the left wing, and the shot is going off a stick and into the screen and out of play.
Well, the forechecking behind the goal line has worked all game long for the Maple Leafs. You heard Doug MacLean talk about it between the first and second period, and there is the redirect as it hits Ehrhoff's leg and then goes in past the surprised Ryan Miller. And again, this is what the Leafs have to do. They're not going to get pretty goals with all their injuries. They have to just continue to put pucks on the net, go to the net, and look for some rebounds, particularly against a very good goalie in Ryan Miller.
Clarkson and Raymond draw the assists on the opening goal. Talinder sends it around back of the net. Stopping it there is Corey Trop. Trop, as Scott takes up position in front of the net. Now here's a shot by McCormick, and that was deflected wide of the goal. Trop along the boards in for Scott. Centering pass, and McCormick had to go off a stick. Another shot goes off a leg, and it's going to carry him to the line, and not out. Long shot deflects wide of the Toronto goal. Scott and Trop doing a good job, and a penalty coming to Toronto.
Cross-checking will be the call.
And the Leafs, without a power play, will go to the penalty kill for the third straight time.
And it's going to be Fraser going to the box.
Probably in front of the net where he had a building to contend with.
Exactly what it is.
8:04.
Right there is the cross-check.
8:04 the time of the penalty to Mark Fraser. Leafs penalty kill 10th in the National Hockey League. Given up 11 goals and 73 times short. Kind of interesting too. If you are on a 5-minute major penalty, it's only deemed one time shorthanded. However, if the opponent scores, then it's 2 times shorthanded. But if you kill it off, you're only getting 1 time. Now, slow trying to get back up on his skates is Carl Gunnarsson. And
he's not good.
He is trying to get to the bench here.
Right leg.
And is wobbly as he gets there. We'll keep an eye on him. Here's Hodgson in over the line. Broken up at the blue line, but not fed out. Round back of the net now for Cody Hodgson, who centers, and it comes all the way back past Ehrhoff down the ice. There's Carl Gunnarsson on the bench.
That's a skate.
Wait and see. He's standing. He's not sitting.
Nobody near him yet in terms of the training staff.
Well, Paul Ayout's there right now, Greg, so that's not a skate.
Now here are the Sabres getting it to center and down into the Toronto zone. The injury bug has been something to behold as far as the Leafs are concerned, as it's iced and Miller will leave it there. There's Myers turning with it. Myers got it ahead. Leno across the line, drop back for Myers. He steps to the middle, dishes it off on the wing, and a shot past save Bernier. Rebound into the corner. Kissick back to Myers, a shot right on, scores! Ott! Steve Ott got the juicy rebound and slams in the tying goal.
One of the few rebounds we've seen Bernier let out. Now this is more like where the location it hits him. Through traffic, it hits his stick instead of his goal pad. When it does that, it ends up right on the stick of Ott. Here's the first save. Good puck recovery by Ott to get it back to the point. And Franson actually knocked it over to Ott after the puck was lying there right there. And then Ott just got a pass from Franson actually and tucks it in the empty net to tie this game up.
So the Summerside PEI native ties the game with his second power play goal of the season and his third overall. The captain of the Sabres, and a hip check there, sprawls Raymond, and it's back out into the center ice area. Down into the Toronto zone. Gardner taken to the boards as it comes loose, and it's cleared out at center ice. Smith unable to get to it. Ristolainen lays it back at center, and here's Foligno in on the right side. He'll dish it off, and a sharp angle shot is knocked into the corner, and now Gardner gets it out, and Clarkson will get it the rest of the way down into the zone. Miller sweeping it around on the left wing side, and it's brought forward now by Talinder. Drop for Scott. Played to the side of the net. Wrapped back of the goal for Franson, and Franson skates out. Franson carries to the red line, gets it into the zone. McClement lets Kuhlman go to the puck and try to get it back to him. It comes in front of the goal, and it is knocked away, and now here are the Sabres trying to get it out. And they will. Ranger off the boards for McClement. Down into the zone it goes again. Stafford and Myers have drawn the assists on the goal. A pass it, but deflects in on Miller. And he's able to smother it there and hold on. Sportsnet proud to present Molson Canadian Leaf Hockey from First Niagara Center in Buffalo.
Following tonight's hockey game for Connected with Jamie Thomas and Ken Reid, and then following that, it's the Grand Slam of Curling, the Canadian Open, tonight at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Sportsnet East, Ontario, West, and Pacific.
Well, the good news for the Maple Leafs, Carl Gunnarsson back on the ice. He was shaken up when he got hit or went in awkwardly into the corner, and you see Ennis there took his skates from out underneath of him, and his leg got bent underneath him. And he seems to be okay.
A draw to the left of Miller. A 1-1 tie here in Buffalo. Molson gets it to Hodgson across the line. Hodgson into the corner. Goes around back of the net. Trying to sweep it in front. It went right through the goal crease. Carl Gunnarsson made an excellent play there. Here's Lupo carrying it out at center. Looking for Kessel, but Kessel had turned the other way. Myers gets it in over the line, and then Big Myers goes to the front of the net, but it doesn't make it through. Molson banking it into the corner. Myers is in front, and it went off his skate, and Bernier had to make a save. Leafs have iced the puck. No, they've waved it off. Kessel gets to the dot ahead of the Sabre, Talinder. Now here's Toronto in the corner with Lupo. Lupo tied up, forced wide. Puck comes free. Down goes Lupo, but no penalty. Leafs keep the puck in. Kessel with a shot off the board. Rebound, down is Miller. He makes an excellent save on Van Riemsdyk.
Some interesting work in the Buffalo zone. I mean, they can't get it out. Myers takes Lupo down, no call there, and then Molson doesn't get it out. Ranger keeps it in, and wow, what a save there by Ryan Miller as he comes back against Van Riemsdyk. Keeps his eye right on the puck. And because Ryan Miller was able to find the puck after it hit him, he was able to track it right down, and Van Riemsdyk swiped at it.
Centering pass for Clarkson didn't work, and it's out into the center ice areas. Ott and Clarkson have some words. Down into the corner it goes in the Toronto zone. Here the Sabres getting it back to the blue line from McBain. Pass for Ott was too far as Smith was out on him. Turning with it in the near corner now and cycling the puck is Tyler Ennis. But the Leafs are able to get it to the line but not out. Ennis knocked down on the play. Ranger gets it off the stick to center ice. Ristolainen trying to shoot it back in has had it go into the bench area and out of play as we get some shoving with Ott and Clarkson.
Pro Hockey Life, the ultimate hockey megastore.
Teddy Nolan got the phone call from Pat LaFontaine prior to. He was trying to get some theater tickets in New York, and Patty had a connection. So he said, have you got my tickets? He said, no, I don't have your tickets. And guess what? You're not going to the show. Why am I not going to the show? Because you're coming to the show. And Ted Nolan was very emotional after that piece of information from his former pupil, if you will, Coach Pat LaFontaine, and an offside. A penalty, rather, not offside. It's going to be a tripping call on Marcus Foligno. So the Leafs are going to get their first power play opportunity after the Sabres tied the game with their last power play.
And right at the right of your screen there on the blue line, he's going to get called as he runs a pick and doesn't get away with it. And Jake Gardiner goes crashing down to the ice.
12:56 the time of the penalty. Tripping to Foligno. The Sabres penalty kill is 19th in the league, and the Leafs power play is 4th. But they're going to start for the Buffalo win of the faceoff. And Drew Stafford taking his time, sending it down into the Toronto zone.
And Cody Hodgson's by far the best Sabre on the draw in the first period, and he's been pretty good there in period number 2.
Down into the zone. It goes off Miller's stick. Cleared to the line, but not out. A shot deflects right on Miller, down, and the puck is back at the goal. Backhand pass trying to go back door, and it didn't work. Kessel stepping off. Down low with the pass in front block. Lupul with it again. Lupul back to the point. Nice play by Phaneuf to keep it into Cody Franson. Franson down low, a centering pass. Bounce high in the air and finally cleared by Buffalo. Phil Kessel has not scored in his last 5 trips to the first Niagara Center. He's had 7 assists over those 5 games. His very first game here as a Leaf, he had 2. Laid around the boards to the near side. Phaneuf into the slot. Still has it. Off to Kessel on the far side. Lupul gives him an outlet. Now Kessel with it again to Lupul down low. Shot stopped by Miller, and the rebound is cleared away from harm's way. Those 2 goals that he had here were while he was with Boston. Phil Kessel. There's Clarkson. Shooting. That stopped. There's a rebound. Puck goes into the corner. Smith gets it back to the point. Gardiner exchanged positions. Now here's Smith. Down low and into the corner. Turning with it is Raymond trying to center. And it was knocked away, and the Sabres are going to get it to the line and out. McCormick forces it deeper into the Toronto zone and gets a hit in on Gunnarsson as the Leafs will send it back. And Carl Gunnarsson brings it out. Up on the right wing side. Played in over the line, but stolen then by Mason Raymond. The penalty is over. Foligno is back onto the ice. Stafford loses it into the corner. Clarkson gets it back to the blue line. Over it comes to Ranger. A shot well wide of the goal. Clarkson around back of the net, unable to get it in front. Mark Pysyk gets it up on the wing, and a lead pass for Ott. Steve Ott on the left wing with a pass. Scores! Foligno!
Pysyk with a great pass to start this off to find Ott. Take the take, quick wide, and it sends the Sabres off, and a 3-on-2 is 1, 2, 3 forwards from the Leafs are below the dot. And that creates this 3-on-2. Phaneuf loses his man going to the net. Foligno, and a beautiful little play by Ott here. Holds the goalie, tips it across, and Foligno, who's been struggling a little bit with just 2 goals before tonight in the season, gives the Sabres the lead.
A great pass from Ott to get it over the stick of Ranger, who had gotten back, but a perfect saucered pass lands flat as a pancake, and into the net it goes, courtesy Marcus Foligno. Drew Stafford will draw the other assist. So the Leafs trail in the game for the first time. Here's Van Riemsdyk in with a shot that's wide. A rebound is around back of the goal. Van Riemsdyk is able to come away with it. Centers for Kessel, and he didn't get a shot away. Kessel turns back at the blue line. Still with it. Fans on a shot. Goes to a rebound in along the boards. Can't get to it. Cody Franson does. He'll send it into the far corner. Ristolainen gives the puck away, but Lupul couldn't do anything with it. 2-1 Buffalo here in the second. Franson for Gardiner to Kessel. Kessel steps in. Kessel with a snapshot off the blocking glove of Miller. And the Counterattack starts here for Buffalo. And across the line now, trying to go wide with a backhand pass. In front of the goal was Brian Flynn. Gardner gets it along the wall. Played to an open corner. Myers goes to it. The centering pass doesn't work. And it's chopped high in the air. And the Sabres will go back to their own blue line.
And again, 3 forwards caught Joe on that play. Created a 4-on-2 down deep.
Long shoot in wide of the Toronto goal. Down into the corner it comes. Raymond pushes it up on the wall. Clarkson took a swipe at it with Talinder. And now Mason Raymond trying to feather it out. Gets it past Smith to center ice. Myers will send it right back as Myers is sprawling by Clarkson. Shot back in and Bernier can't stop it back there. The Leafs got a tired group out there. They're starting to get it exchanged. And now they'll get it exchanged as it's sent in by Raymond. 2:45 to go second period. 2-1 Buffalo. Molson up on the right wing side. Hodgson across the line. Too well covered. And it is dished back to Dion Phaneuf, who banks it ahead for Kuhlman. He's unable to handle it. Ehrhoff regroups the puck for Buffalo, and it's tipped in by Cody Hodgson. The former Canuck was into the corner after it. Round back of the net is Carl Gunnarsson. Tried to feed it off there for Phaneuf, but that didn't work. And now the Sabres work it into the near corner. Back to the blue line to Ehrhoff. Shot deflect right on. And an excellent right pad save made by Bernier. Leafs play it off the boards at center. A race for the puck. Here's Smithson in across the line. Dropping it back. Tipped into the corner, and now McClement trying to get to it. Phaneuf pulls over his man. The puck goes loose to Pysyk. And Mark Pysyk will get it up on the left wing side for Tyler Ennis. Ennis works to the line, gives the puck away. The Leafs turn it back the other way. Here's a chance now for Carter Ashton. Shooting, big rebound! And going too far was Cole Moore. He was right in on the blue paint. Fired down into the Toronto end. Down on the boards for Fraser. Tipped ahead. McLaren got it freed up. Brought on by Ranger. Drop for Cole Moore. A pass in and Ranger deflected it just wide. 1:16 to play in the period. Fraser keeps it in. Or did he? No, he did not, according to Pierre Racicot. And a face-off will come outside the Buffalo blue line when we return. 2-1 Sabres.
Issue of late, and obviously when you're missing good players that are playmakers through the middle, the puck isn't getting distributed in areas where scoring chances will be created, and it's a real issue for the Toronto Maple Leafs at the moment. And so far, they have not had a ton of great chances. 16 shots on goal, and Ryan Miller's been good when he's had to be. However, not too many second chances, not too many real good looks on Buffalo so far.
Goal and assist for Steve Ott here in this period. His first multi-point game of the season. His last was in March of last year against Montreal when he scored twice. Phaneuf gets it ahead, and here's David Clarkson in over the line. Clarkson with a sweeping shot, and it's stopped by Miller. Clarkson trying to play it along the boards and does. Now here is Smith coming out of the corner. Smith with a shot! Off the crossbar into the screen. Trevor Smith shows you a pretty good wrist shot.
Well, again, all he's doing is keeping it simple, throwing it towards the net, and his line mates are going to the net. And Ryan Miller did not see this at all. As you can see, the log jam in front of him. It may have hit a stick, and then went right over his head, hit the crossbar, and out of play.
That wonderful sound if you're a goalie. Wango off the crossbar and up into the screen. 42 seconds left in the period. Down into the corner it goes. Sabres unable to come away with it. Myers plays it around back of the net. And it's out into the center ice area. Brought right back in now by Van Riemsdyk. His shot is going to be smothered. 22.8 seconds left to go in the period. And the Leafs have had one power play tonight, but all of the Leaf power plays are brought to you by Fido. Taking care of you with savings and more. That's the Fido advantage. Sabres are trying to do something they've only been able to do on 2 occasions this year. Take a lead to the third period. And they're 1-0-1 when they've done so. A shot from the blue line deflects up, and there's Miller again to make the save.
Leafs starting to get a little more offense, getting pucks through to Miller. And Phaneuf here, a good shot, just getting it through the traffic. And it deflected twice on the way in, and Ryan Miller had to be very sharp to make a good save.
Last 5 trips in here, Miller is 4-0-1 against the Leafs with a 3.64 goals against average. Rangers shot is gloved by Miller this time. And the Leafs' big line here has been getting some scoring chances. As
Schmidson shows you why he can be a valuable piece to this team with 2 good clean face-off wins.
Jared Smithson trying to win that one, but it is controlled by the Sabres and fed around the boards by Ehrhoff. And the Leafs are going to have 7.5 seconds with which to try and win a face-off and get a shot.
Well, with Bozak out, you need a guy like Schmidson. That's why they picked him up, to win some face-offs, killing penalties. And now they're using him, Randy Carlyle, in a key situation here late in the period. And of course, Ryan Miller, U.S. Olympic team, I think he's got that job pretty much sewed up. Although Jonathan Quick now injured, that makes it a little more interesting, doesn't it? As that will help Ryan Miller's cause considerably. Although I would think that Quick will be okay by the time the Olympics come around.
All of the scoring in the second period. Smith for Toronto, Ott and Foligno for the Sabres. Let's go to Darren and the panel back in Toronto. If you look out a window here at the First Niagara Center, you can't see that. But that is Niagara Falls, hard by Buffalo, New York. And a look at the second period summary. All of the scoring as Ott had a goal and an assist in that second period. And Anything for Hockey is brought to you by Molson Canadian, diehard fan and proud partner of the Leafs. And the Leafs with a 2-1 deficit.
Yeah, and Steve Ott had a real good period in period number 2. He gets the first goal for the Buffalo Sabres, and then he sets up a beautiful play here over to Foligno to give the Sabres a 2-1 lead. And on that second goal, it happened a few times in that period where the Leafs were caught with all 3 players down deep, which created a man advantage break for the Buffalo Sabres.
You know, I was talking about watching Phil Kessel wind up and how he does it. It reminds me of this young man, Frank Mahovlich, going end to end. And a week ago tonight, you saw this as Phil Kessel wound it up in his own end. And with that great foot speed and equally good shot, ended up putting one in behind Martin Brodeur. Ice time leaders so far: Christian Ehrhoff, 16 minutes, 7 seconds. Cody Franson, 15 minutes, 28 seconds for Toronto. So the Leafs trailing by a goal as it's played down into the Buffalo zone. It comes back to the blue line and a shot deflects, and that went wide of the net. Kuhlman along the boards. The Leafs outshot the Sabres 15-9 in the second period. It comes to the side of the goal. Trying to get it back to the point, they do. Carl Gunnarsson to Phaneuf, the one-timer blocked in front. And the Sabres will push it ahead. And Drew Stafford carries to center and gets it in over the Toronto line. Back checking diligently there was Jay McClement. And it is Phaneuf who is able to carry the puck out at center. He'll chip it in over the line. And he'll get Smith to go in there to do some forechecking. Trevor Smith along with Raymond and Clarkson. Raymond knocks it down. Phaneuf gets into the slot. Here's a chance for Smith in front of the goal. Oh, Clarkson got upended there and couldn't get it in behind. Ryan Miller, great scoring chance for Clarkson. Out into the center ice area, Raymond trying to get away. Raymond pushes it in over the line, but it's quickly chopped out at center. Ott will send a long shoot in on Bernier. Gardner for Clarkson. Got it out, got it handed back to him, and now Cody Franson, with teammates changing, decides to maintain puck possession and wait for the change. Now sends it off to Jake Gardner. Gardner with a pass. It deflects high in the air. Volleyballed into the corner by Jamie McBain. McBain back in along the boards with Kessel. The puck comes free. That's Clarkson's stick that's getting in the way, and he is along on the near side and played back to the net by Girgensson. And out into the center ice area and down into the Toronto zone. Mark Fraser goes around back of the net. And Riemsdyk curling for him. And now here is Fraser coming out. He'll come straight up the left wing side with a pass off a skate. Nicely gathered there by Lupo. And he fired it wide. Lupo back of the net for Van Riemsdyk. It comes down the left wing boards and Fraser decides to pinch and keep it in. A battle for it there as Van Riemsdyk fills in for the Leaf defenseman. And now Foligno with a loose puck in the far corner. He'll drop it back. Myers turns. Onto the wing it goes for Henrik Tallinder. Up on the left wing side and bounced high into the Toronto zone wide of the goal. Scott tied up there by Ranger. In goes Fraser McLaren after it as the fourth lines get a little action here in the period. And McLaren starts out. McLaren with a bank pass looking for Carter Ashton, who's playing center on this line. Al Orr gets it in over the line and Ashton barges down the boards. Healthy run at him from Corey Trott. Into the corner it goes. Carter Ashton coming out with a shot. Down is Miller. And a gathering of the folks in front of the Buffalo net. Everybody's got a headlock on someone down there. The face-off will come in the Buffalo zone as a result.
Yeah, you heard Nick talk about Clarkson during our intermission, and he's been all around it again tonight, and this is perhaps his best chance in quite a while. Great play by Phaneuf to keep it in, a little pretty passing play, and Clarkson just runs out of real estate trying to find the puck, and Ryan Miller came straight out to challenge him and meet him on top of the crease. And we all know this Ryan Miller against the Maple Leafs. He can shut the door when his team is up by a goal. One thing we've noticed here in the third period, the Leafs now are really activating their defense, running down the boards, trying to have the Sabres in, down by a goal here in the third.
Draw to the left of Ryan Miller. Smithson wins the draw cleanly. Phaneuf stops, lets the shot go, and it's blocked in front of the net. Ristolainen gets it ahead on the right wing side for Drew Stafford. Stafford going wide with a shot, sharp angle, stopped, rebound up ahead, and Smithson is able to swat it and get it out at center ice and down into Buffalo territory. Ristolainen rattles it around to the far boards and the Sabres get it out. Stafford is in across the line. Little stutter step, then got the shot away and down is Bernier. He's got that caught up in his pads and a face-off coming in the circle to his left.
Carlisle, he wants his team now just chip and chase. Forget the muck in the neutral zone in terms of trying to make clean plays through the neutral zone. Just chip and chase down the wall and try to get in behind Ryan Miller in the goal line and work the forecheck. That's where they've been successful here in this game tonight.
A lot of Leaf fans in attendance here tonight, as we mentioned. Leafs are 1-2 when they've trailed going to the third period thus far this season. Myers down the right wing. Gets it around back to the goal. Bank pass comes back to the blue line. Tallinder with a shot that's blocked in front of the net. Clarkson unable to get it the first time, but does the second out at center. It'll be shoveled right back down into the Toronto end. Fraser going back after the puck. Now played out into the center ice area. The Leafs waiting for teammates to get onside. Didn't wait quite long enough as we get Clarkson and Ott having a session of verbal jousting, but nothing more to come. You know, you miss a lot of important days when you're doing this. I've got a teenager at home now.
Unbelievable, Joe.
David Bowen turning 13 today, so a big happy birthday to him.
Might be the best of the lot, Joe.
I think.
Get an oil change by December 15th and get a free gift. Michelin Hybrid Wiper Blades. Get your coupon at MrLube.com.
Hard to believe, Joe. 13 already.
Yeah.
Goodness.
My little goalie's getting big.
Face off anymore.
Oh. Face off outside the blue line. 2-1 Buffalo here in the third period. The Leafs trying to press. Pysyk gets it ahead. Dished off on the right wing side. Brian Flynn knocked it around back of the net for Buffalo. The puck comes free, and it is Van Riemsdyk carrying out. Van Riemsdyk trying to get to center. The line of Lupo with Kessel and JVR had 11 of the 20 Toronto shots in the first two periods. Van Riemsdyk Gets it ahead, and here's Gardner in over the line. He stops a centering pass, and it went off Lupul's skate, and 4 Sabres carry to center. Brought in on the right wing side by Christian Ehrhoff, and he rolled it through the goal crease. Shot from a sharp angle is stopped by Bernier. Ehrhoff trying to play it in, and Kessel gets it out. Sabres have to wait for teammates to get onside, and now launch it down into the Toronto zone. Jake Gardner, who made a great play the other night in Minnesota, jumping to keep the puck into the zone. The puck has now gone out of play in order to provide the Leafs with their goal in the second period. In front of family and friends, his mother told me she had to call in all the markers to get tickets in Minnesota, as Jake Gardner played at home for the first time in a Leaf uniform. D-Haven, Minnesota, where he calls home.
Minnetonka High School, and the Minnetonka Skipper jersey, one of many high school jerseys adorning the great arena there in St. Paul.
Out into the center ice area, off the boards. Fraser McLaren ran into Stafford and was knocked down. And Mark Fraser plays it off on the wing and gets it ahead, and Kuhlman sends it down into the zone. Smithson after it into the far corner, intercepted the pass, got it in front of the goal. Here's a chance now, but unable to shoot it, and a penalty coming as McClement was slashed, I believe, and now the Leafs are going to go to the power play.
Drew Stafford, I believe, will get the penalty here on the backside pressure. And the checking line for the Maple Leafs out against the number 1 line for the Sabres, as we've seen this a lot tonight. And here's Stafford right there with that little tap on Jay McClement, and that's why he's in the penalty box.
5:43 the time of the penalty here in the third period. Second power play opportunity for Toronto. And the draw in the circle to the right of Ryan Miller. Kessel, Kessel, Van Riemsdyk, and Lupul. Phaneuf shot, and he wired that high and wide of the goal. And it's backhanded down the ice by Brian Flynn.
Yeah, they'll be frustrated with that shot because you win the draw, you've got some time, a little patience to set it up. Might have been a better idea for Phaneuf on that play.
Phaneuf gets to the line, works down the left wing boards, got around Myers, feathered around the boards, but Cody Franson stops it there. Franson with a shot off a skate wide. Kessel trying to play it back to the blue line. Phaneuf attempting to keep it in, and Kessel helps him out. Lupul back to Phaneuf. Over for Franson. Back to Phaneuf. Phaneuf into Lupul. Back to Phaneuf. Phaneuf working to the middle of the ice. Still with it. Looks, now shoots it. That is blocked on a good play by Brian Flynn. Played around on the near side for Kessel. Kessel launches it back in. Lupul trying to block it. It's cleared to the line. Knocked down by Phaneuf, but quickly grabbed by Ott and sent the rest of the way.
Boy, they're chasing Kessel all the way up the half boards. That was Myers that went after him the minute he had the puck on his stick, trying to take away that lethal weapon for the Maple Leafs. The Sabres have done a good job doing that tonight on the penalty kill.
Gardner carries across the line, but knocked down was Raymond, and the puck comes out at center. Clarkson stepped into his man, Corey Trott. Trott's taking a bit of a beating here tonight. Here is a chance now for Smith, dropping it back to the blue line to Jake Gardner. A shot from the blue line is stopped in front of the goal. Another chance is wrapped and now cleared by Buffalo to center ice. 12 and a half minutes to play, third period. 10 seconds left in the penalty. Gardner in. Gardner going wide. Gardner around back of the goal. Back to the blue line to Carl Gunnarsson. A pass in for Raymond. Raymond's got it again, and a shot went off the shin pad of Clarkson and ends up in the screen. David Clarkson has gone to the net hard here tonight. Looking for one, maybe just go off the seat of his pants.
It's the way he's got to play if he's going to score, and he knows it. Well, this is the David Clarkson shift. I mean, this is the way he plays. Comes up, gets on the body, physical and Trop here with a good solid body check, and then goes to the net. And this is where he is going to be if he's going to be effective like he has been in the past. And unfortunately for him this time, it hit a leg, actually his leg, and instead of going in the net, it went out of play.
Sabres have a lot of decisions to make on a lot of their youth, but Johan Larsson, Mikhail Grigorenko, and Nikita Zadorov are all scratched here tonight. All of them are some of the young guns that they've got here. There's a loose puck in the Toronto zone, and it is brought out now by the Leafs with a pass up on the right wing side from Smithson, and now offside at the Buffalo blue line. 11:57 to go.
Molson Canadian Leafs hockey on Sportsnet. Brought to you by Molson Canadian, diehard fan and proud partner of the Leafs.
There's another Molson. I don't think he owns the brewery, though. Onto the wing it goes for Steve Ott. He shoots it down into the Toronto zone. Gardner trying to get away from the checking of Billy Leno, and a long lead pass tipped off the stick of Clarkson, goes down into the corner. Clarkson got a piece of his man. The puck is played up on the wing. Out at center ice comes Buffalo. Play down into the corner by Leno, cut off by Franson, around on the boards for Clarkson. He chopped at it, doesn't see it. It comes free, and now here's Smith getting it back to the net. Gardner into the corner for Cody Franson. Long lead pass, but it was out of the reach of Trevor Smith, and so an icing is coming here, and it'll be brought back into the Toronto zone to the right. Leafs will be home all of next week as they have the Islanders on the horizon, as well as the Buffalo Sabres in town tomorrow. Cody McCormick, the London native, taking the draw, but loses it to Trevor Smith, and Smith gets it out at center. And it'll be played in over the line as the Leafs change. Christian Ehrhoff got it ahead. Corey Trop got it in over the line, but Paul Ranger skims it around on the boards, but not out. Trop at the side of the Toronto goal to McCormick, and a shot was blocked. Trop was knocked down. The puck is still back to the Toronto net. They bang away at it. Orr gets it up on the wing for Carter Ashton. And Ashton misses a hit there from Trop that played into the near corner for Colton Orr. Orr banging it out at center. Two Leafs are there, and gathering it up and sending it in is McLaren and Ashton. Ehrhoff given a jolt there by Orr. Puck is launched high into the center ice area for Scott. He is stood up there by Paul Ranger, who may have taken a bit of an elbow in the snout. He goes to the bench rather slowly. And Ranger is going to the dressing room.
Right to the room.
There's an icing charge here against the Buffalo Sabres, and it'll be brought back. Here's a look at it.
Let's have a look at it here. Scott right in front of the bench.
Wow.
And right in the face. And I'm not so sure that Scott here was just trying to bang at the puck, and it's a follow through, and his gloves end up right in the face of Ranger.
John Scott has one career goal in the National Hockey League. Played to the line. Gardner couldn't keep it in. Makes a nice play to get it away from Foligno. Then is able to bump Foligno off the puck, and the Leafs get the zone. A wrist shot is high and wide, and the rebound is going to Rick O'Shea all the way down into the Leaf zone. Franson around back to the net. The Leafs and the Leaf fandom have made numerous trips down here to Buffalo and come away disappointed. Sabres are 8-1-1 in the last 10 played here at the First Niagara Center. A shot from the blue line deflects just wide of the net. In fact, overall, the Leafs have won just 27 times in 95 games, played either here or at the old odd. And if we get a whistle here,
we're going to have a Buffalo penalty. A big opportunity as the Leafs go on to the power play here, Joe. Beautiful throw to break where I had the Leafs on the power play, and if you look at the official, Well, his arm was up. Now, I know the net was off. I knew that. But that arm isn't
There he
all
is.
the way up. It's
No.
just 3/4. So there is no penalty. My mistake. And little 5-on-5 hockey.
Draw to the left of Miller. Well, I thought you extricated yourself off
that was a heck of a throw,
really
though,
well.
wasn't it, Joe?
Oh, it was great.
Beautiful.
9:15, and the fact I wasn't even paying attention probably didn't help your cause much at all.
I just like the extrication.
Draw one by Toronto. Jay McClement around back of the net. McClement banks it back to the point, and Gunnarsson trying to get it over to Phaneuf. Had to come out over the line.
Didn't Obama say that? That's perfect. So if he can say it, hey.
A lot of politicians recently been saying that.
Joe
Now
now.
down into the zone. It comes out into the center ice area. Grabbed off by the Sabres. Here's Stafford getting wide. Poked into the corner by Bernier. Up on the wing it comes for Jay McClement. McClement gets it ahead. McClement onto the right wing side for Phaneuf. A shot off the shoulder goes high and into the near corner. McClement gets it away, works into the corner with it. Jay McClement around back of the net, coming out in front of the backhand! And the chance for Smith. He's had 3 great chances and scored on 1.
A real good game.
Hodgson sends it down into the Toronto zone. Into the corner goes Tyler Ennis before he was knocked down. Pysyk sends it to the net, and it is gloved and stopped by Bernier with 8:06 to play in the third period in a 2-1 hockey game. The Sabres holding the lead.
Well, Smith isn't a young player, so when you bring him up, you get experience. And he's 28 years of age. He's been around a long time, played a little bit in the National Hockey League, and he's given the Leafs a darn good game tonight. And an excellent chance here. Ryan Miller, as he does so well, paddle down, covers the lower half of the net, and makes a good play on it. And with the broken stick going to the net, that made that save a little more difficult also.
Clarkson sends it off on the left wing side for Smith, who gains the zone, sends it across the goal crease. Lupul on this line this time as Randy Carlyle doing some juggling now. Paul Ranger back into the game after taking that shot from John Scott. Lupul gets it up on the wing. Smith trying to get it in over the line. Does. Clarkson trying to help out as it's pushed out at center ice. Shots favor Toronto 26-24. Ranger. A pass ahead for Lupul. Can't get it by Billy Leno. And here's Ennis back in on the left wing. Ennis with a shot. And a glove save made by Bernier. And another face-off coming in the Toronto zone to the right. So Randy Carlyle starting to mix and match a little bit here.
He's got to find some offense somehow. And trying to shake the trees up a little bit here and see if he can get somebody going. Clarkson's had a good night. He's been double shifting him at times. We haven't seen a lot of Phil Kessel the last couple of shifts.
He's out there now.
And there he is. So we'll
Mason
see.
Raymond on the wing with him, taking Lupul's spot, who had been there before. Now to the near side for Pysyk. The long shot down. Bernier, he found it. And then Jake Gardner fills his man right into the rink, or into the net rather.
Sportsnet U. It's the UTech Bowl from Halifax tomorrow. Laval and the Mount Allison Mounties at 12:30 on Sportsnet 360. Following that, the Mitchell Bowl, Western versus Calgary at 4, bringing back memories. 1988, John Juris and Greg Vavra. Game played back then at Western, won by Calgary. Mustangs hoping to turn the tables tomorrow. How's that for history, guys?
Played out at center. Down into the corner. Christian Ehrhoff plays it up ahead, and McCormick had to go off Ranger's stick and goes into the Toronto bench and out of play. And Ranger has Scott pushed to the boards, and Paul Ranger with a little gauze on the schnoz.
I got right in the bugle on that play by Scott. As Scott followed through.
And a little discussal over there. Kessel and Scott, the last time they were together, things really escalated rather quickly. Kessel decides to leave the big fellow alone this time.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah, right down into the Toronto zone. Bernier Left it there, fed around on the near side. Corey Trop lost it, and the Leafs get it ahead for Mason Raymond. Raymond trying to slide it past Scott, hit him, and it is shot by Scott down into the Toronto zone. Scott gets a running start there. Mark Fraser as the Leafs get it ahead. And now Van Riemsdyk on to Raymond. Raymond will send it in over the line and gets around Mark Pysyk into the corner. Ehrhoff trying to tie him up. The puck along the board, still free. Van Riemsdyk lost it. Kessel can't keep it in, but Gardner does. Gardner at the blue line. Off on the wing for Cody Franson. Franson around back of the net. It'll come to Kessel in the near boards. Kessel twisting and turning to get away from Cody McCormick. Comes back to the blue line, kept in by Toronto, but not far enough to reach Van Riemsdyk to his back of the net. And it is sent by Foligno down into the Toronto end. Clarkson or Gardner, laid it right in front of his own goal. Up on the wing it comes, and a rink-wide pass brings Jake Gardner. Gardner in over the line with a shot, and it's deflected just wide of the goal. Clarkson around back of the net. Clarkson trying to get it freed up for Joffrey Lupul. They bang in there. Puck comes free, and it is Tallinder getting it to the line, not out. Rolled back in off a skate. Down the boards came Smith, but he couldn't get it in deep. And it is cleared by Buffalo down into the Toronto zone. It'll be an icing charge. And with 5:12 to go, the face-offs becoming ever more important. This one down in the Buffalo zone. (27-26) shots favoring the Maple Leafs.
And the Leafs
in the game.
Vincent on the ice here to try to win a draw with Phil Kessel and Van Riemsdyk. Yep. They get some puck possession in the Buffalo zone.
Phaneuf is well in over the line, and Smithson scrummed the draw, but the Sabres get it out, and Smithson's going to the bench. Here's Phaneuf. Rattles it around on the near side. Van Riemsdyk logs it up. In goes Carl Gunnarsson to try and help out. 3 Sabres are in there as well. Mason Raymond hoping to fish it free. Can't beat this kind of hockey. Now along the boards it goes into the corner. Here's back to the blue line. Far side shot, deflects right on. Rebound, put up in front, down is Miller! And he finds it in a maze in front of the net. Van Riemsdyk and Kessel both in there. A wild scramble in front of the net, but the Leafs cannot get the equalizer.
In the penalty box on that last scrum in front of the net, he's going to haul Kessel down, and when he does that, he's going to end up in the penalty box. So a huge opportunity here for the power play in the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Sabres had the first 3 power plays and scored the go-ahead or their first goal with their third. This is the Leafs' third consecutive opportunity with the man advantage. They're looking for the tying goal. And the draw to the left of Miller. And it's knocked back of the net. Pinching down Phaneuf. Keeps it in. The puck comes around to Kessel, who works back towards the blue line. To Cody Franson. And Franson had to reach around, or he might have had someone going in the wrong direction. Drew Stafford made an excellent play there. Kessel against the boards, trying to free it up. It comes free, knocked in there by Franson, but grabbed off by Mark Pysyk and shot down the ice by Christian Ehrhoff. New set of penalty killers for Teddy Nolan. Trying to win his first game as interim coach. Here is Van Riemsdyk. Back to the point to Franson. Near side for Phaneuf. Back to Franson. Near side Kessel. Snapshot into the chest of Miller. Tonight's game summary is brought to you by The Brick. Nobody beats The Brick for furniture, mattresses, appliances, and big screen TVs.
Ryan Miller's been solid. Drew Stafford's been much better tonight. And here's Kessel here, a shift to go. He wants the puck. Give him the puck. Give the little guy the puck. And here goes the official. And watch the smile.
Look at this. All right.
How great is that?
Around back of the net, Corey Trop couldn't get it out, was knocked down, plays it around to an open corner. Carl Gunnarsson pinches in to play it around back of the net, and it's hammered off a leg, but it won't clear. Yes, it did. It came out, and it's offside. That was bouncing like a tennis ball, and Gardner couldn't keep it in.
And of course, now late in the period, this is an issue for the Maple Leafs here. As it goes off Gunnarsson's leg, it's hopping, and Gardner does his best to settle it down, but can't, and the puck goes over the line for an offside.
Looked like a lacrosse ball coming out of there. They couldn't keep that down. Off on the wing it goes. Here's Kessel down the left wing boards. Stops, rolls it to the side of the net. Lupul to the point. Franson, Phaneuf. Lupul stepping in, shooting, and it ramps up off the stick of Bruce Stafford and out of play. Jamie and Ken are working on Connected to be seen right after the game. Let's find out what they're up to.
Hey, Joe, the fans shows our Connected countdown tonight on the way. Best NHL brawls.
And there's an upset brewing on the road to Rio.
Thank you, guys. We'll look forward to that. A 2-1 Buffalo lead here. 36 seconds left in this power play, and just 3:08 left to go in the third. Here's Van Riemsdyk around on the boards. Franson, who has 10 assists. A pass goes off of Phaneuf's stick, and a diving play by Stephen Ott gets it out at center ice. He's been the first star in the game. Rifled in by Lupul. Down the boards comes Van Riemsdyk. Played by Pysyk back to the goal. Ott's got it again, and he'll shoot it down the ice.
Pysyk has had a real nice game for the Buffalo Sabres. He set up a goal and a great outlet pass. He's been pretty steady in front of Ryan Miller also for a youngster.
Penalty is over. 2:25 to go. We'll keep an eye on Bernier for you. Gardner couldn't keep it in, and here are the Sabres breaking out. Right wing side for Stafford and slid into the corner. Paul Ranger overskated the puck but gets it freed up, and a pass up the middle goes off the stick of Clarkson to center ice. Fired right back down into the Toronto zone. Played around the boards then by Mason Raymond. Up ahead for Clarkson. Clarkson rink wide. Raymond trying to catch up to it and has. Mason Raymond in with a pass into the slot. Clarkson shot it off the leg and went wide. Kept in at the blue line. Clarkson banging in there but losing it, and it's out at center ice.
Great pass by Raymond. Wow. Stick to stick. Perfect.
1:36. Gardner to the line. Gardner in with a shot. Big rebound in front. And Riemsdyk couldn't get it. Bernier still in the goal. Centered in front of the net by Kessel. That doesn't work. Sabres get it out at center. Bernier looking at the bench. Leafs will get it in, and Bernier will start out. Here he comes to the bench. 6 attackers on the ice. Shot out and down the ice, but off a glove. No icing, and it won't go to the line anyway. 1:04 to go. Kessel slaps it in. Miller tips it back, but he gives it away. It's down back to the goal. Lupul trying to cover it up. Lupul and Van Riemsdyk. Van Riemsdyk gets a little room. Back to the blue line. Franson shooting. Big rebound in front. What a save made by Ehrhoff. He saves the game. Point for Phaneuf. Franson. Wrist shot knocked down in front. Van Riemsdyk with 32 seconds left. Shot out and down the ice. Scores. Christian Ehrhoff saves the game.
He sure did, as Ryan Miller was spinned right around and out of it. And Ehrhoff is the reason right now this game isn't tied, period. And he ends up scoring the goal. Miller's out of it here. He doesn't know where the puck is. And there is the save by Ehrhoff. As Van Riemsdyk was looking at a wide open net, and then a battle he wins, and sweep all the way down the ice and into the empty net.
So the Buffalo Sabres are going to win Ted Nolan his first game back here as the interim coach. It'll be his 74th win behind the Sabre bench in his 165 games. For Christian Ehrhoff, it's his first win or first goal of the season, and Terry Pegula, the owner of the Sabres, enjoying this one as a shot is gloved by Miller. And Ryan Miller is going to improve. This will be his 30th victory against Toronto, against 15 losses and 1 overtime loss.
And the Leafs just can't seem to get it going in this building. I mean, it doesn't seem to matter what the situation. And again tonight, they were around this game, but really not in it the way they've seen them in it in the past, although they got injuries, there's no question. And, however, you got to give the Sabres credit. They came out.
They competed tonight.
They competed, and they got good goaltending, as they always do, from Ryan Miller.
So the Maple Leafs on this road trip will garner just a single point from the overtime loss or the shootout loss rather, in Minnesota. As we take a look at tonight's 3 stars that are brought to you by Molson Canadian, diehard fan and proud partner of the Leafs. Ryan Miller, although I might have thought Steve Ott, I thought he was terrific, but both players were great. Jonathan Bernier is the 3rd star in the hockey game here tonight. The Buffalo Sabres, who have not won very often, just the 2nd time they've won on home ice, celebrate for their gathering of fans here at First Niagara Center. Stay tuned now as Jamie and Ken bring you Connected.